I'd like to welcome you to the September 4th, 2024 meeting of the HOC's Budget, Finance, and Audit Committee. I'd like to also, I'm Roy Priest, I'm the chair of the committee, and also I'm joined by Commissioner Merkowitz, who's a member of the Budget and Finance Committee. We would like to proceed with the agenda for the meeting. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of our May 17th, 2024. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
I move.
I second. Probably moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. So ordered. The next item is the presentation of the county's fiscal year 26 capital budget as relates to amendments to that budget. I'm going to turn to President Andrews for discussion.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee, the HOC team, and the public. This matter comes before the board before the commission, on an annual basis. It pertains to the requests that we advance to the county in terms of supporting our endeavors. In this particular ask, we present to the county our requests as it pertains to capital improvements. The county has been a longtime partner of supporting our capital needs, and as reflected in this document, you will see where we have current county capital improvement support from the county that happens on an annual basis, as well as some new areas that we are going to advocate for and ask the county's support as it pertains to providing additional resource. I do want to just highlight that two of the areas that are new projects or in particular expansion, one includes the additional funds that we need for the demolition of Elizabeth House. And we presented this to the commission. Of course, we want to make sure that we are following all the protocols necessary to demolish this property with safety protocols in mind. And there's additional costs as it pertains to that. And then subsequently, we are also experiencing and have experienced increased and unanticipated costs around cider mill and security. And we have had the full support of the county, especially the police officers and safety departments that have really provided ongoing support. The property has stabilized as it pertains to safety, but we want to make sure that's maintained. And we are advancing a request as it pertains to additional security measures at Cider Mill. I am going to turn it over to Terry Fowler, our budget officer, to provide you with this presentation.
Good morning, and I guess it's good afternoon. Thank you, President Andrews, and good afternoon, members of the committee, staff, and the viewing public. For the record, I am Terry Fowler, the budget officer for HOC. As President Andrews mentioned, there is an annual submission to the county. They operate a biennial capital improvements program, or CIP. And this year, only amendments to the CIP will be considered by the county executive and county council. HOC is required to submit our request for any amendments by September 6, 2024. However, staff has requested and received an extension to September 12, 2024 in order to obtain commission approval at the September 11, 2024 meeting. Our current county CIP includes 5 projects, funding for our 2 revolving funds and our county guaranteed bonds are funded through the CIP. In addition, there is annual allotments of $1.25 million in supplemental funds to support improvements at our deeply subsidized HOC and affiliate owned units. And the county has authorized $1.5 million towards the total cost of demolishing the original Elizabeth House. It is prudent to remind the county of the importance in maintaining our current allocations in the following projects that are funded through current revenue, and that is the $1.25 million annually for improvements to our deeply affordable units, and the funding of $1.5 million for the Elizabeth House demolition. As a reminder, Berg Corporation was selected for the demolition and notice to proceed was issued in August of 2023. As President Andrews mentioned, in March of 24, it was determined that greater remediation of environmental conditions related to the deconstruction of the exterior walls would be required, and it's an estimate of an additional cost of $1.5 million. Staff has confirmed that the county is identifying a funding source for the additional $1.5 million that will be included in supplemental funding for the County Department of General Services. Therefore, a request for additional funding by HOC is not being requested at this time. With the additional scope, the demolition is now expected to be completed in spring of 25. Also, as President Andrews mentioned, during an amendment year, amendments are considered that are related to health and safety. Therefore, we are requesting one new project for cider mill capital improvements for a total of $2.3 million related to required health and safety improvements. As a reminder, cider mill is an 861 unit garden style apartment serving low and moderate income families. And this was acquired through the right of first refusal, in 2018. However, the property underwent limited updates prior to HOC acquiring it. Since that time, HOC has invested over $7 million in capital improvements, demonstrating a commitment to improving the quality of life for the residents at the site. For this reason, and to further ensure continued health and safety for the residents at Cider Mill, further investment beyond our available resources is needed. We are requesting $2.05 million to address balcony issues that were identified at the site and added security equipment and lighting for $250,000, totaling the $2.3 million. We are asking that the BF&A joint staff's recommendation to authorize the submission of the county FY26 capital budget and amendment to the 25-26 capital improvements program. The total is $90,682,000. That includes the continued support of our projects, which include the annual allotment of the $1.25 million for improvements on our subsidized and affordable units, maintaining the $1.5 million for the Elizabeth House demolition that was allotted by the county, and adding the $2.3 million in new funding for the health and safety capital improvements at Cider Mill Apartments. And I will be happy to address any questions you may have at this time.
I'll support this. I just have a question about with the 1.25 million that we're using for the renovations to our scattered site.
Yeah.
As noted it's been 1.25 for a long time, and it got reduced for a while to 1.125. And with inflation, that's buying us less and less. I'm just wondering, is there any thought at some point to asking the county to increase that amount?
Yes, absolutely. I will say one hurdle we've had to overcome, and we are now in a much better posture, is actually utilizing those funds in a timely manner. And so because of COVID, because of challenges with getting in the units and staffing, we had not fully activated the funding that we received. I can assure and indicate that over the last year plus, we have demonstrated that we can use the money and we need more. So I do believe that after this next tranche, we'll be in a position to request additional support from the county.
Great, thank you.
I was surprised by the level of capital investment we've already made at Cider Mill. when I read that about $7 million, I said, my gracious, because the fact is that unless you told us that, most people would not know that we have had that level of investment inside the mill. Because there have been so many other issues unrelated to the physical structure, but related to the living environment around to the mill, security and safety, which have become the prominent items we've talked about. But I'm glad to see we are demonstrating that we are, in fact, very supportive of maintaining the quality of the property while we move forward to a redevelopment at some point in time in the near future. I certainly support this. Can I get a motion to recommend this to the full commission?
So moved.
Probably moved and second, probably moved and seconded to do that. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. So ordered.
Thank
Next
you.
item. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item to come before the committee is the approving the extension of our banking services contract with PNC Bank.
Yes, thank you, commissioners. This is a matter that procedurally will just come to committee. Our procurement requirements have various steps as it pertains to contract extension. And in this particular matter, we're requesting the committee's support to extend our contract with PNC Bank for treasury services for an additional year. I will turn it over to our CFO, Tim Getzinger, to provide more detail.
Thank you, President Andrews and committee members. For the record, my name is Tim Getzinger, Senior VP of Finance and CFO. Again, the purpose of this item is to extend the banking services contract with PNC Bank for an additional year through September 30th, 2025. As the president just said, the procurement policy allows for the president to renew the contract for 1 year, which occurred last year. This year, procedurally, it goes to the BFNA. Next year, we'll have to go to the full commission. And my expectation is that before it goes to the full commission next year, we'll go through an RFP process because we'll have to go through the whole process and it takes a year. So that's just what's going to happen next year. This contract has been in place with PNC Bank since 2008, and PNC Bank has met or exceeded all HOC expectations during the 16-year period. PNC has invested significant time and effort into learning about HOC, its businesses, as well as its clients we serve, and has dedicated resources through its treasury management, capital markets, real estate, and other services and disciplines. Two noteworthy items. In December, HOC transitioned nearly 200 checking accounts into interest-bearing accounts. This has generated $3.6 million through the beginning of August, which will annualize to about $6 million. Additionally, HOC has 2 lines of credit with PNC Bank, which help to provide liquidity, transparency, and efficiency. The rates on these lines are more competitive to its market counterparts. Staff recommends that the Budget, Finance, and Audit Committee exercise the provision available in the banking service contract with PNC Bank NA and extend the contract for a period of 1 year through September 30th, 2025. And with that, I would be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions?
No, I think it's the memo. Makes clear PNC has been a very good partner. And so I will make a motion to support the staff's recommendation.
And I second that motion and also would put note that I agree with Commissioner Merkowitz that PNC has certainly been a very strong partner and been willing to be innovative and in place when we need them for certain transactions. And so they've always been willing to stretch beyond just what we started to make sure we can make our working relationship produce dividends for both bank as well as for HOC. So with that, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. So ordered.
Thank you.
There are no other items that to come before the committee. Therefore, pursuant to section 3.305B and D of the General Provisions Article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, I move to adopt the written closing statement dated September the 4th, 2024, and to adjourn this open session to a closed session to discuss the confidential commercial and financial information provided by PNC Bank NA with respect to PNC's provisions of various lines of credit to HOC. Section 4-335 of the Maryland Public Information Act prevents disclosure of confidential commercial or financial information obtained from third parties. This meeting will be closed in order to protect confidential commercial and financial information provided to HOC from PNC Bank in connection with its provision of various lines of credit to HOC. Information to be discussed is customarily and actually treated as confidential by PNC Bank NA and has been provided to HOC under assurance of privacy. The statutory exception that allows this topic to be discussed in closed session is section 3-305B13. If any member of the public wishes to object to the closed meeting, please comment in the YouTube chat box or contact HOC's general counsel. Instructions can be found in the State of Emergency Open Meeting Procedures, which is posted on HOC's website. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Probably moved, seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. So ordered. Thank you. We are now adjourned.
Thank you.